before I proceed, this will contain spoilers for the Supergirl movie. This will contain spoilers for the Supergirl movie. In 3, 2, 1. Let's proceed. Greetings, everyone. It is I, of course, your one and only multi-potentialite, neurodivergent host,
the Cosmic Jedi. Welcome back to my channel.
Yet another Supergirl video, the topic about superheroes killing and not killing and why.
And here we go.
I was watching The Furious yesterday, and it triggered that same conversation I had with you guys a while back about when is it okay for a superhero to kill. And even though I'm not an avid comic book reader, I don't know all the storylines of every superhero out there, from DC to Marvel and all other independent comic book stories as well. But I'm not comfortable, nor am I okay or cool with the no-kill rule. For Superman, that's okay. You know, when push comes to shove and there's no other choice, cool. But I don't understand why it's okay for some superheroes to say they had no other choice. Even though some readers, or if it's in a movie, they would say, well, if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't do it this way. Or if I was in her shoes, I wouldn't do it this way. How many times has Diana Wonder Woman killed on Themyscira, or in other worlds she's been in before she made it to Earth or whatever? How many times have the Amazon warriors killed to defend or to protect or save innocent people? Like, where do you draw the line to say a superhero shouldn't kill?
That's a good question.
Now with Supergirl, I know that the way this scene was depicted when Ruth wanted to kill the man who slayed her family, who's also done a lot of harm to other people. Creme de la creme, by the way. That's what a lot of us are calling him.
But why?
Supergirl said no to Ruth because that can change her spirit, that can soil her spirit, and yada yada yada. In a dark, twisted world, I would say both of them should have killed Krem.
Damn!
But that's neither here nor there. My issue the issue I have is with people saying Supergirl shouldn't kill. Some people are saying she shouldn't kill. I understand the other people who are saying it didn't make sense that she told Ruth not to kill, and the reason why she told Ruth not to kill, but then proceeded to kill the same person she told Ruth not to kill. That one I understand. Like, the way the scene was laid out, plus dialogue, was very, 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 very poorly written. But there's people who, for those of us who loved the Taken series, we enjoyed it, right? So why is it okay for the guy, Liam Neeson's character in Taken, to fight through all the different people he went through, and he killed some people? He killed some people, even though he's not a superhero or traditional superhero. You could say he's a vigilante / was a father trying to save his daughters. Well, even his background, you could say he was awarded a hero's medal for his services and yada yada yada, or he was a good person despite some of the bad things he would. Whatever it is, however you want to apply the moniker, superhero with superpowers, who can fly, who can shoot laser beams out of their arms, their eyes, or their arms, or why does the definition of a hero change? Is it because they have superpowers? Then it's like, well, you have superpowers, so you shouldn't be able to kill. We could argue the same thing about Krem. Krem in this movie had superpowers, and I don't want us to jump back and forth into the comic book story with Supergirl. I want us to stick with the movie we saw, and also I want to bring forth the crime and the vile things Krem and his men did. Krem is written as a misogynist. In fact, he's a twisted character, right? Twisted character.
That's right.
In his pirate crew full of men, he doesn't want to recruit women. He wants to recruit men only, and his idea is to kidnap underage girls. I don't know if there's ever a story where he's kidnapped grown women, but he wants to kidnap underage girls and impregnate them so they can breed new men only for his men only pirate crew. The logistics of that is completely baffling, because you have to go through a lot to attain this vision. Where this vision came from, no one knows, no one cares. You've just had it in your head that you've got 50 of you, for example. You plus 50 men makes 51, and you're happy with your male crew, but each time you go through whatever quadrant or you go to do your pirate crew stuff, you're losing men quick. And you haven't thought to yourself, it'd be cool to have women or teenagers in my pirate crew. You know, for some, even if you want to use the teenagers as distractions, for example, where you wouldn't think a child or a teenager would do whatever, use them as decoy to do whatever you need to do. In your head as Krem, he has thought, no, I like my male only crew, my male only pirate crew, and I've got this dope, awesome idea of kidnapping other girl children from their families or wherever they are, whether they're with families or single, kidnap them, and then
Here we go.
impregnate them. Now, they never show that he had an injection on him to impregnate them with some serum that allows him to give birth to male children only. So we know what he's going to do with those kidnapped girls.
That's right.
None of us are stupid. We know what he's going to do.
He ain't lying.
So people were saying he was trafficking, but I don't remember him selling. I could be wrong. I don't remember Krem selling other kidnapped girls to other people. He just said he wants them to be his bride or whatever, to birth male children. If you think about it yourself, break it down. What does he have in him that when he forces himself onto any female, that female will birth only a male child? What does he have in him? That's number one. Number two, let's go through it as adults. Let's go through the whole process as adults. Number two, once he's kidnapped these girls, is he the only one that's going to impregnate the girls with his super sperm or super serum sperm, whatever? Or has he kidnapped these girls to get pregnant by himself and his other male crew members? Let's go through the whole logistics of the whole thing. Because when I see people online saying she shouldn't have killed him, I'm seeing some people say it's because of how she spoke to Ruth, don't kill, and then she proceeded to kill. I get that. But I'm not angry at the killing. The killing is cool. The killing makes sense. Someone like Krem, especially after that thought of I want a male-only pirate crew, and I'm going to kidnap women to succeed at attaining a male-only pirate crew. Young women, should I say, not just women, young women. You're going to kidnap young women and impregnate them. So again, they never showed us that Krem de la Creme had a syringe or an injection or a serum where all he had to do is pour it into the mouths of these girls and they would magically get pregnant. So that means he's going to force himself onto these girls. This is not a consensual thing. This idea of vision he has is not something he's pitched to these young girls. What do you think? I've got an idea, by the way. My name is Krem, and these are my male-only pirate crew. We're dwindling in numbers, and I would like to replenish our numbers by proposing a proposal to you, beautiful underage girl, that we all each lay with you, and we'll see whose sperm enters your egg first to give birth to a new member.
Hey, yo, what the?
How do you know that once you lay with this person, this woman is going to give you a male child? What is in your gene pool that ensures that? It's like I'm seeing two factions. One faction is saying, yep, she shouldn't have killed Krem after telling Ruth not to kill. That was very, very confusing. And the other faction I'm seeing is, oh, superheroes don't kill. I'm like, no. You guys, you can't just be like. In my previous video, I was saying I'm surprised I've not seen an outpour of women who are into comic books and anime and whatnot and superhero movies. I'm surprised I didn't see them come out online and say, yo, we're happy to see Supergirl killed this Krem person, and she annihilated his other male crew members, or his crew members, because they're all male anyway. Because even the way she was fighting, I was like, yeah, that's how you fight. That's how a Kryptonian should fight. Not like Superman, who's always conscious, or I need to save the cat, I need to save the dogs, I need to save the squirrels or the pigeons. I'm not, even though some of you like that about Superman, or the current Superman we got. That's not my Superman. But I don't want to take it, too far into that area of discussion. I still want to keep it here. We've watched the movies like Taken. We've seen John Wick annihilate a lot of people because of what the symbol of what that dog meant to him. And one could argue all that over a dog. Why not? Why not? This is his world. You trouble a character like that, yo, you got to get what comes to you. So we're okay with watching him do a lot of, cool stunts and gung fu and whatnot. That looks awesome. We're okay with taking, I have a set of skills, I will find you and I will kill you. We're okay with that. Then the new movie that came out recently, The Furious, where the father loses his, his father's daughter is kidnapped and he has to track her down. And in the movie, when he goes to the police station, there's a scene where he can see on the wall where there's been a lot of kidnappings and it hasn't been resolved, and in another scene, they were even using a child as bait to get other children to get kidnapped. That whole thing is nefarious. It is disgusting. It is dark. It is vile. It is putrid. So some of these movies, for some people anyway, I don't know about everyone else. So I'll just say for some people, we watch it to see the villains get their comeuppance. We don't watch it to see them get arrested and get taken to rehab and then, sit down and what happened to you? Oh, childhood trauma. And no one is saying none of those things happened to them. But to follow through with a nefarious plan to generate wealth from it, profit, to get rich off it, and the amount of sadness and pain you're causing people. And even though you had childhood trauma growing up, you've now given a new level of trauma to these children you're kidnapping, and you're just doing it for money. Some people will kidnap and partake in the dark, nasty shenanigans that goes on with these young boys and young girls. So there's two realms to it. There's the money side, and there's the dark, twisted things that are done to these children. You guys get angry when it comes to the news about an island where grown men and women and some actors and actresses, whether you like it or not, are doing things they should not be doing to children. You guys get angry when it comes to superhero movies. Supergirl, some of you say she shouldn't have killed because she's a superhero. Superheroes don't kill. If that's the case, cool. Your opinion, not mine. We get to live in the same world and have different opinions. Awesome. What message are we sending to young children, to young girls, where a female superhero has heard what this villain is doing, and this villain is going on with the plan as if it's the only way to do what he wants to do, to have more male members on his pirate crew? You could easily go to different bars, go to places where warriors test their strengths as men and women or as aliens. You could have a whole different type of species in your pirate crew rank, but instead you woke up one day and cooked up this weird, diabolical, disgusting, putrid plan. I'm going to kidnap little children and impregnate them with my male-only members of my pirate crew so they can give birth to male children. What if they give birth to female children? What do you do with those female children? You rear them, you grow them as well, feed them and whatnot. And when they get old enough, you repeat the cycle onto those children as well. So should we let that? How long has Krem been doing this? When is it okay for a superhero to then say, oh, you know what? Let me put a stop to this. Even Lobo, who's not even a superhero, right? He's a super being or meta being, but he's a, what do you call this thing? Anti-hero. He's just there for the money. Did Lobo know exactly what Krem was doing? Surely you'd have to have known. If you've been hired to with a bounty on one of those guys, and you're in the realm of good guys and bad guys, but you got to be in the darker realm of bad guys more than good guys to know how they work or how they think. Surely you'd have heard you'd have heard of info that Krem and his crew are kidnapping little girls to impregnate them so that they can have a larger male-only pirate crew. Just the idea alone is so erroneous. Yet a grown being, I don't even want to say a grown man because whatever he is in space, that's his thing. A grown male being woke up one day and thought this is a viable plan. It has to go through. We have to carry this out. It's a cosmic decree. We must follow through. Not even go to different planets, go to different areas and put out a thing saying, yo, we're the baddest crew in the planet in the galaxy so far, or one of the baddest crews so far. Our kill to death ratio was, we rarely die. We succeed in our piracy and whatnot. We're looking for new male members only. You could be alien if you want, as long as you're strong, you got a set of skills or whatever, and we'll take you on. Instead, he said, no, that's too easy. In fact, it's too hard. I got to go to different bars and go to different planets and go to different, like War World, for example, or War Planet, or Battle Planet, or Battle Dome, or Combat Dome, whatever you want to call it. You're telling me, as skilled as this guy is, he must have lived long. He must have been in so much battles that he survived them, right? And he's super strong as well. He had a truck following him. He caught that thing with one hand and tossed it aside like a freaking pillow.
Damn.
So this guy thought to himself that it's too hard. Oh, I gotta go to different bars, war world, fight world, battle world. No. It's easier for me to kidnap your daughters. Yeah. I don't care how they look. Long hair, short hair, flat chest, big chest, small bum. I'm going to kidnap your daughters, impregnate them to give birth to male new pirate members. Maybe I'm blowing this way out of proportion. Crying for no reason. Wah. Just for views and clicks on YouTube. Wah. Maybe. But after seeing his plan and after seeing the different girls in his prison and the way he just killed Ruth's family and another girl who escaped from his clutches, he found her. How he found her, when you watch the movie, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, whatever, how he found her, killed her and her parents. Just no care in the world because I can. Because my name is Krem de la Creme, fam. Why not? Why, if you had my powers, you would probably do the same thing or worse. So then it's shocking to me to find some people online saying superheroes shouldn't kill.
But why?
I've seen only a few people I've had respond to that video that I made. It depends. It's if you can make exceptions when it's this and that. I'm like, no. There should be a universal exception when it comes to kidnapping and raping or forcing people to get pregnant or forcing women to get pregnant. Or even if it's a female pirate crew, kidnapping young boys or grown men to impregnate them so they can give birth to female. Oh my gosh. If the script was flipped, it would, people would have had a field trip. Just imagine that. It's an all-female pirate crew kidnapping young boys so they can lay with them, get pregnant, and give birth to only female children that they will add to their pirate crew ranks. The story is already whack, but I just want to understand why is it that some people find it hard to be like, no, yeah, Kara killing that guy is correct, and his whole pirate crew, correct. You're serving zero purpose in the whole scale of order and disorder. I mean, you're serving disorder, yeah, I guess, but in terms of the general populace, we do things to improve ourselves and become better. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from our flaws, our errors, and yada. You grow to become better. You're doing nothing for that. You're adding to the disorder, the disharmony, and wickedness. So you got to get removed, especially if I have abilities. He's preying on people who weren't superpowered. He's kidnapping girls who can't shoot lasers out of their eyes, who have no Kryptonian DNA. He's not going after superhero daughters or meta human or meta abilities. What? He's not going after people with meta abilities. So someone like that should get annihilated completely. So again, we'll sit down and we'll cheer with thumbs up for Taken. Oh, Taken 1, Taken 2, Taken 3. We'll thumbs up for maybe I was gonna say Jack Reacher, but that's the second one, right? But even that one wasn't necessarily kidnapping for whatever. We'll cheer for all these movies where a hero or a main character is like, oh, not on my watch. I'm going to go out of my way to stop this thing. Or you got to go through the proper channels. By the time we wait for the proper channels, it'll be too late. And, we follow through. And even though you're supposed to follow the law and go through the proper channels and the procedures, this guy says, not on my watch, and goes against the rules and then gets the girl or gets to save the child or the heroes. I mean, gets to save whoever they're saving. And we're like, yeah, great movie. Yeah. If I was in issues, I'd have done the exact same thing. Lethal Weapon, where one character doesn't necessarily follow the police protocols and gets the job done with some collateral damage. Yeah, but gets the job done. When it's Supergirl, ooh, superheroes shouldn't kill. I was like, yo, you guys are confusing me.
Come on, son.
If it was your child, or if you had twin girls and you had superpowers, and your twin girls were kidnapped by this guy once you were out doing your superior duties, you would track those dudes down and you would end him. You wouldn't just save your girls and say, yeah, you can go away. Because if you let him go, he's going to do what he did to your twin girls to more girls. So it makes sense to either, I'm going to say let him go, my bad. You put him in prison, and then what do you do? The prison thing is not good enough, man.
That's right.
The prison thing for me is not good enough. So maybe it's just the way my mind is wired. Maybe that's why I like Batman's ways of doing things more than I do Superman's. Because again, if I don't put a stop to these people permanently, they'll keep coming out to the woodwork more and more. But again, maybe I'll draw the line at petty crimes. You hijacked the bus and you robbed people. I wouldn't kill someone because you robbed people. Like Supergirl didn't kill those girls. She fought them, the 3 girls in the movie, but she didn't beat them to a pulp or annihilate them. But when you're kidnapping little girls to impregnate them, kidnapping already is that's a no-no. I guess that one you're not supposed to get killed for. Cool, we could argue, whatever. But you've kidnapped and killed some of the family members of these little girls you've kidnapped them from. So that's murder. So you've got two nefarious things on your record. You've murdered people and you've kidnapped. Then you need to get terminated for that. Superhero or not. If I'm a superhero or not, you have, because my guy, we're here to clean. You're here to clean and protect.
What do you mean by that?
If you're out here just doing a lot of consistent disorderly things, you got to get dealt with, my dude.
Yes.
You got to get dealt with. You may not be the super tribunal of the cosmos, but with great power comes great responsibility. And within said responsibility is also when to kill and when not to kill. That's why my problem with some of these videos I've seen and reviews I've seen is, why are some people saying she shouldn't have killed? Minus that whole dialogue. We're not talking about dialogue. We're talking about, superheroes don't kill. Why does that rule apply to Supergirl only? I thought, or I was aware or under the assumption that rule is a Superman rule, not a superhero rule for Green Lantern, the Lantern Corps, Martian Manhunter, because he killed a lot of those aliens who almost wiped out his people, or who wiped out his people. So again, some of us like to pick and choose when that no-kill rules apply. If you've robbed a few people and you haven't killed anyone, you've hurt a few people, yeah, you go to prison or rehab or whatever, or some galactic prison or galactic rehab. You want to improve the ranks of the numbers of your male-only pirate crew, and you thought to yourself, the best, most intelligent idea in all of the cosmos is to kidnap other people's little girls, impregnate them to raise male-only children. That the logistics of that is staggering, because, like I said, if they give birth to female children, what do you do with those female children? You get rid of them, or do you sell them, or do you raise them to when they're the right age in your twisted mind? You rinse and repeat. You're getting them pregnant. So I still stand by that decision to say Supergirl killed them. Yes, they're lucky. But boy, if I was directing that movie, I'd have burn his skull. Use a laser beam to fry his whole brain completely. Because it's okay for some of you guys to just sit back and support one movie. Taking was good, or this movie was good. When it comes to this story now, it's the same theme. People are doing bad things they shouldn't be doing. They're gaining profit from it. When you're impregnating women against their will, you're enjoying it. You woke up one morning with a twisted idea and said, I want to have more men in my pirate crew. This is the only way I'm going about it. Bullshit. So some of you guys like to dangle the no-kill rule for superheroes. I need an honest break. I don't want your wishy-washy, be honest with yourself. That's why I said in the live that I did a while back, if some of you had superpowers in different time periods, you would not hesitate to use those powers. When it comes to the Holocaust, you wouldn't hesitate, especially if you couldn't get caught. You would not hesitate. You can lie to yourself all you want. That's cool. I'm not talking to those who try and wishy-washy. No, you had superpowers without getting caught. You had if you were supersonic fast like Flash or beyond Flash's speed, you will do damage during that time era. You would definitely do damage during that time period. If you were in the same time period, you were Native American, for lack of a better term, and you saw Christopher Columbus coming to your shores, and you had the power of foresight. You could see the future and the past, and you had superpowers. You would not hesitate to do what needs to be done to Columbus and his crew. You wouldn't, please, I'm not talking to liars in this video. I want a serious reply to these topics I'm bringing up. Because I wonder what that does to the psyche when someone has the ability to stop a thing, to improve a thing, but they choose not to because of how some society or some areas of the world would frown upon it based on the society. What does that do to the psyche of a child watching that thing? And I'm glad that it was a female superhero. It's interesting. I would say glad. I'm glad. It's interesting because I saw that the male meta-human who had superpowers as well, Lobo, didn't care what they were doing per se. I don't like the fact that you would write Lobo to say he didn't know what Krem was doing, as if it was a secret thing. Krem was kidnapping people in broad daylight. And then those who struggled, he would kill their parents and take the girls nonetheless. So let's not play games. Don't again, leave the lies alone. Be fully aware. So we have to accept to an extent that Lobo was aware and chose not to do anything. In fact, he knew more of what was going on before Kara. Kara was already in her drunk state and she verbalized it and said, "It's not my fight." Now, back then, we can assume Kara didn't know this guy was kidnapping little girls or young, whatever, kidnapping and killing people and doing whatever, until Ruth said it and she still said, "Not my fight," you know? I can't wait to do a watch along with you guys so we'll break all these things down because we can, entertainment is one thing, but what these things do to our subconscious is very, 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 very important. These subliminal signs and this this hidden, no. We have to be able to say right is right, wrong is wrong. Disorder is disorder, righteousness is righteousness, balance is balance, and harmony is, we have to be able to collectively agree upon these things. Because the more we start breaking into little mini factions, we're going to cause problems. A being can't just wake up and say, I want to increase the numbers of my crew by forcing myself onto young children. And then you're saying she shouldn't have killed?
What?
You didn't even present another solution. Take all of them to a spiritual or galactic cosmic a rehab where you reprogram the mind for them to just do one thing and one thing only and never think of bad things. And then, okay, now that's done, we also need a karma balance for all the parents who were killed trying to stop their children from being kidnapped or their daughters from being kidnapped. And then what happens to the little girls who've been traumatized? What do you say about some of the girls who might have killed themselves during this kidnapping process? How about some of the girls who might have had miscarriages? So the whole thing, and even the writer, I'm surprised she herself didn't come out to say why she chose to put this story in, because they changed the whole story from the comics.
That's right.
Krem de la Krem was not kidnapping no girls in no comics, and he didn't want no more men on his pirate crew. So you changed the story and didn't have the balls to at least come out to the public and have a conversation saying, you chose this thing as a thing because of what's going on and you chose to weave it in. Cool. If you're going to do so, do it. But at least have the conversation. I don't see anything wrong. I mean, it's a elaborate idea, but if you're trying to use this elaborate idea to discuss a real ongoing, real life kidnapping situation, let's go for it. But have the balls. Have the balls to address it with all of us.
You ain't lying.
DC saw this, Warner Brothers saw this, and they gave it a thumbs up, a green light to say, go ahead. You then release the movie, it's not doing too well, and you don't have the balls to talk about the topic. You change the story for a reason from the comic. All right, let's have this conversation. Because it's a real thing that's going on this planet with particular types of men. So what do we plan to do about it? Do we have to wait for a spider to bite us before we become superheroes? Do we have to wait for a gamma wave to hit us before we turn green and then react? What can we do now? What should be done now? With great power comes great responsibility. Sometimes that responsibility is to put a stop to a threat permanently, to ensure others don't suffer because of mad men and twisted women. Because villainy doesn't care about your gender. Wickedness doesn't care about your gender or your pigment. Although sometimes it tends to pick a particular pigment a lot.
That boy is good.
Anyway, that's me done, peeps. Let me know in the comment section what you feel. Because I'm deeply passionate about this. I don't like all this soft superheroes. Not every superhero should be soft. Not everyone, especially in the DC universe, not everyone gets to be like Superman. Some superheroes that have gone through some dark things, they're given abilities. Just like some Green Lanterns would have had some dark origins, and the ring would have picked some of those people who had dark things happen to them. So even if the Guardians would be like, oh, I wouldn't have picked that guy. Okay, well, the ring chose it. The ring's supposed to be this higher intellectual, spiritual frequency that has higher intelligence. It's picked this particular host, despite its dark experiences. The ring has chosen this host. We can also agree that the wielding of the power will help with healing from said dark experiences. But you've chosen this person because this person would know how to deal with a situation like that because of what they experience. So as someone who's a galactic protector with this ability, I've chosen you out of many of the other goody two shoes. I've chosen you with your painful background to be able to weave through certain situations that these goody two shoes might not be able to do so. You have that experience. So that's why I've chosen you to be the one to wield this ring. So when you come across certain bad guys who you are familiar with, and you wouldn't hesitate to do what needs to be done. Some of them would some of them would arrest these guys, lock them up and whatnot. And that energy that resides within the ring, that great intellect or great intelligence, will also say to itself, balance. Some of these people can be put in prison. Some of them need to be put to sleep permanently. If I want to refer to that energy as God would say, yep, some of y'all get to go to prison. Some of y'all get to get cooked, dead, finito, fatality, endgame, no resurrection, no returns, no reincarnations. So how some of us like to pick and choose with, oh, superior shouldn't kill. Y'all make me laugh, man. You guys make me laugh because I saw that movie and thought, okay, as bad as this movie is, great job for killing that guy and his other male crew. What a twisted idea to wake up in the morning and have. I'm going to kidnap little girls so I can. What the hell? If you want more men in your pirate crew, go and grab other men from different parts of the world and expand your horizons and whatnot. Instead, he said, I'm going to kidnap.
Come on, son.
Stop it, son. But again, maybe when I do a rewatch, then I'll see if there's other things I'm missing. I saw somebody reply to my video, oh, superhero killing is wrong. What? You didn't even have the balls and respect and decency to say, in this scenario, superhero shouldn't kill. I didn't say somebody stole a lollipop from a freaking corner store or something. A superhero should just, blaze their head open. I was very, very specific in my previous video, as I'm being very, very specific in this video. Where do you draw the line? And if you say you don't kill Krem, then we need balance. Some of those girls who were kidnapped, her families were killed. So then what do you do with all those men who have already forced themselves onto different women? What do you do? Or do you wait till they're fertile before you force this? What do you do? How do you then, what space center, what cosmic center or galactic center do you have as a treatment center for this specific kind of mindset? That's how I'd have appreciated someone telling me, I don't think so should have killed this person because this is how I feel they should have handled the situation. Then we're having a conversation. Out here coming with typical flat responses in the comment section. Superior shouldn't kill, it's stupid. And that's your response. You've overlooked the threat, the problem, the scenario, the trauma this male being is causing these people. You've overlooked the whole thing. Even externally, outside of the story and the comic book movie thing, this woman wrote this thing. Even herself, the writer, I was disappointed. You had the balls to write this shit. You ain't come out and say this is why I wrote it. We chose to change the story from the comic because of so and so. I want us to talk about this situation at large. As superhero fans, those of us who love Batman, those of us who love Superman, those of us who love Deadpool, Cyclops, Wolverine, Doctor Strange, Dr. Fate, so on and so forth. There's some superheroes, if you put them in that same scenario and they found out this guy was kidnapping children, their heads would be off. Wade Wilson, would Wade Wilson partake in that nonsense? In the whole comic book run of Wade Wilson, has he ever partaken in kidnapping children, little girls to be precise? Has he ever partaken in that nonsense? Even some villains would draw the line. Ra's al Ghul, would he partake in the nonsense? Who else is there? Bane. Bane is with his whole, venom juice and then grows big. Would he partake in Let the brother know, since you guys are comic book fans. Those of you who know these heroes in and out through the comics, through the cartoons, let me know. The villains who would be cool with what Krem de la Krem was doing in the Supergirl movie, and the villains who would terminate this guy without hesitation. Let me know. How about the Daleks in Doctor Who? Would they be like, yeah, go ahead. We'll help you out too. We'll help you kidnap some more girls. Superheroes shouldn't kill. Please, you guys just say anything you want to say because it sounds cool to your ears. Wrong is wrong, and there's some wrongs that need to be dealt with permanently. You go to the cinema and watch Taken 1, 2, and 3. You sit there and yes, John Wick for the dog. And then the movie that came out recently, even the story, I was like, following through, there wasn't a scene I was like, oh, we shouldn't have killed that guy because he's the guy who just drove the car. Any of you who partook in kidnapping children, whatever rank you are in your villain organization, all of you need to guilt?
Damn.
All of you need to get dealt with permanently.
Mm-hmm.
You drove the car, you chose the car, you thought the plan, you chose the route, every last one of you. And you're collecting, even if weren't even in the same vicinity these children got kidnapped, but you collect money for being the guy who scouts the person who's in the neighborhood saying, yeah, this person has no husband, so you can kidnap the kids. Yeah, this one has 3 children. This one is going to work. They go to work to be the spy who scouts. You need to get yourself dealt with because you partook in a very large, disorderly, unrighteous, wicked deed. Even if you're just a guy who's the scout and got money for it, you exchange money. It's 2 things. You spied on people. In fact, is that 3? You spy to exchange information. Well, I guess you could say it's just both in the same thing. You spy to exchange information with these people, and they know when to come in without. So there's less stress between, destination of kidnapping and going away. Then you get money for that. Get dealt with. Now, on a larger scale, we can discuss poor economy, poor politics for the environment that they're in. So that's where it's like, oh, since there's not enough money, then I gotta turn to this crime. But when you turn to doing this particular bad thing, whether you're a father or not, it's even dark when you're a parent, or even if you're not a father, you have nieces and nephews, you have friends who have children. Would you put your crew on your friends' children and get some extra pay? Don't come in my comment section if you're not going to give me a comprehensive response properly. Think it through. I'm not trying to talk down to you, but I'm just, this whole YouTube thing and whatever, I'm done talking to people who are not taking time to process. I watched that movie and I thought, this is a big ass topic. And Supergirl killing this guy, I ain't got no qualms with it. I think should have made him suffer first, then kill him.
Damn.
And that shows where my psyche is coming from, because there are a lot of things that go on in this world that don't, angels don't come through the sky cutting people's heads off.
You ain't lying.
If we saw that on a regular, that'll be a very, very massive deterrent for some people doing shenanigans. Trust me, that would be a massive deterrent. You can go in some underground bunker that is 50,000 cosmic feet deep. That angel will tear through it and take your head off. That'll be a super omega level deterrent not to do some dumb shit. Guaranteed. But there's nobody with eyes that shoots laser beams that is from Krypton called Kal-El or Kal-M or Kal-Y or Kal-U. It's just us. There's no entity flying through the cosmos taking heads. It's just us. So when a movie touches on some of these issues that is plaguing us collectively, or it seems to be growing rampantly. In this fantasy world that is touching on real life problems, sometimes, just as we've already lived vicariously through the heroes killing the villains in Taken, Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4, in Rambo 1, 2, and 3, Commando, in True Lies, in Eraser with Arnold, or in Last Action Hero, we've seen the good guys go through their ups and downs, but kill the bad guys. We live vicariously through them. Why is it now different when this hero, who happens to have superpowers, yes, but she has come to know what this villain is doing? Why is it wrong for her to take action by killing this villain permanently? The same way we've all grown up since the 80s and 90s and way earlier than that. Some of you guys watched Cowboys and Indians. You watched the Cowboys kill the Indians and you cheered. Woo! Why is it different now? Not, oh, we've come a long way as a society. No. The evil is addressed by the villain. The superhero now knows what the villain has been doing. She's now presented with, what do you do? She kills him. What's wrong with that?
Don't ask questions.
It's like she's exercised, like an exorcism. It's once it's done, cool. And whoever carries the mantle of what Krem used to do, she will go ahead and keep ending these people, and it will be a good deterrent for anyone else to try the same thing Krem did. Simple. Anyway, I've waffled on long enough. I've spoken at length. Let me know in the comments. Comprehensive replies, respectfully, please. If you don't want to reply, don't bother. I'll delete an incompetent comment. And I don't have time for some of you guys anymore. I don't have time for some of you guys anymore. I like to have larger conversations sometimes on this thing, so I can see where we're all going collectively. It's cool to sit down and say it's just a movie. Of course, it's just a movie. But that same just a movie also implants or has the ability to implant things or affect each of us individually, collectively, subconsciously, subliminally, whether we like it or not. Unless you have some pill that you can take that allows you to remove things from your subconscious actively, let a brother know in the comment section. And if you don't have that, then we need to talk about what we're allowing to enter our minds through these movies, cartoons, podcasts, YouTube shorts, whatever we ingest visually and through audio. Some of these things stick into our psyche, into our subconscious. And some of these things are deliberately pushing subliminals into, whether we accept it or not, know it or not, either way, let's have discussions in the comment section. I have, of course, been your one and only multi-potentialite, neurodivergent host,
The Cosmic Jedi signing out. Thank you for watching.